Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 9. We made it this far. Holy shit, it's the Snobcast. William here once again with my way cooler and smarter co-host, Shay Simone. Say what's up.
I hear no cap. Hi, everybody. How you doing? How's it going? I am in my natural habitat.
Yes, she's in a swamp, if you guys do not know. She's in her swamp.
That says a lot about you.
It says so much without saying anything. I love it.
Right.
And of course, that is the voice of our lovely and special guest this month, Don Shanahan. Say what's up.
How you doing, everybody? It's nice to be here.
Yes, and Don, I'm so friggin' excited to have you here. I've been trying to get you on this thing forever. And you were so gracious to give us your time. And guys, I wanted to touch on one thing before I get to the main topic. Yesterday, the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences put out their nominations for the Oscars, and the entire film Twitter imploded.
Yes, they always, as always.
As always. Guys, what is the biggest snub for you guys of what you saw?
Chai, you got one loaded up or?
No, I don't. I haven't. Okay, so it's so sad. I no longer follow the Oscars, really.
You're not missing anything. I tell you what, William, you might, see this kind of like I do, where we're the credential guys that get all the FYC stuff, and we kind of know where the money is and where the promotional pushes are, where none of the things really surprised me. That box of neon right there has some films that likely could have used a little more representation. William's showing off the, for those of you who are on podcast and don't see the Zoom video, William is showing off every year. Neon does a fantastic collected box of their entire year's worth catalog of films. And they put them all up for FYC, which is really cool because, they kind of show us how much they support their work and say, hey, everything top to bottom we do is quality and deserves to get the attention of the Academy. And so when you get that box full of Pig and Spencer and a little bit of Flea, Worst Person in the World, Titane, you got some stuff in that box that probably deserves some Oscar nominations in some spots. The hard part is, like many things from Neon, they're small and they're underseen. A niche crowd like us sees that stuff, but a mainstream mom pop old white person voter from LA, Oscar so white, they don't give a shit about Titane, and or if they do, it's too obscure and not enough people are going to vote for it. So, and
the best part about that whole statement, guys, is it came from our resident white guy, Don.
Correct.
So he knows, he understands what the.
I understand the white man. Now I sound like I'm talking about Native Americans. I understand the white man. Yeah,
exactly. He understands the caucasity.
Yeah. No, as a personal favorite of snubs, it's a movie I knew wouldn't get nominated whatsoever, but just a personal favorite that I thought was worthy in a couple of places is a movie like 9 Days from Edson Oda. I thought the creativity of that existential, slight science fiction, slight fantasy film, Winston Duke has a very good, at one point, subdued, finely tuned lead performance that swells into something very performance heavy and nicely done. You have Zazie Beetz doing one of the better supporting actress, moments of the year for me. And that's a brilliant little original screenplay where that's a tiny little engine that could horse in the back of the pack movie that I would have loved to see the Oscars give attention to. I knew it had no shot, and that's okay. But I can't call that stuff a snub.
I am so glad I'm so glad you brought that movie to the forefront. Hey, Shay.
Oh boy.
You saw that one. Didn't you see 9 Days, buddy?
I definitely did.
Didn't you see the Sundance?
I did. Yeah. I think I saw the premiere of it, and it was actually the grand jury kind of thing where they had the judges over at the screening and stuff. Even Hawk was there.
Yeah.
Who else? Shoot, I forget her name.
Jason Blum.
There. But yeah, I've had some really interesting conversations having to do with that movie in particular. I don't know if we want to get into it. Maybe I should just ask people to read my review, but I think I had a much different take on it, just to keep it in mind.
That is why I was so glad that he brought that one up. So glad.
Like necessarily like a negative take. It just wasn't for me, I think.
It's
as far as like a debut film, or like a filmmaker's like first actual like directorial debut, I thought it was pretty impressive as like a first movie.
Yeah, I mean it's there's a slightness in that movie that's hard to really accept. Like it's a slow burn with the old school tech and the unfleshed ideas of, are we in heaven? Are we in hell? Are we in purgatory? Are we in the pre-game area like Soul from Pixar? Like where's that movie projecting and going? And I'm okay that a movie like that doesn't over explain its devices, so to speak. But yeah, it's a smart, beautiful debut and nice performances. To do it in an ensemble way and a small, tight little thing, I enjoyed that. But yeah, no Oscar hope of that movie.
There's one that did have an Oscar hope, and I'm kind of upset it didn't get a Best Picture nomination. And that was and I'm going to spoil this, guys. When we did our top 10 of the year, I gave this film my number one spot, and that is the brilliant Tick, Tick, Boom.
Yeah. And with that skin, well, they expand that field to 10, and this is the first year they've ever gone to the full 10. There's definitely 4 or 5 spots of a saloon door that you can swing and put many other things in there. Like King Richard is a nice thing for Will Smith, but it's not a Best Picture thing. Being the Ricardos is a writer's movie because that's Aaron Sorkin. That doesn't deserve a Best Picture nomination.
That is the worst movie of the entire pack that was nominated.
Which one? King Richard?
Being the Ricardos.
Oh, Being the Ricardos? I don't mind Being the Ricardos, but I'm a Sorkin guy. Yeah.
It's mediocre. I love Sorkin. I'm a West Wing guy. I love Sorkin. I love his writing. But the guy
is it Best Picture? Yeah.
No, it's his worst directing job of all.
Yeah. It's only 3, but yeah. It's true for that part.
Yeah. I mean, he's 2 for 3. That's a good batting average.
I gotta go with
good batting average. Yeah.
One. Yeah. Over the Christmas break, I was it kind of just happened where I watched the first half like 5 times because my mother-in-law and we really wanted to see it because we're both a fan of the original show, and it was so like loud and busy over Christmas that we ended up starting over the movie 5 times, and it just got worse and worse the more I was watching it, and it got to the point where we didn't even want to finish it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there, Shane. And the biggest problem for me, and I'm going to spell this out for people right now as a Latino man, Javier Bardem is not Latino.
Totally
He's from goddamn Spain.
Yeah.
Spain is in Europe.
And he is, I said it in like my podcast, where he's 25 pounds of muscles and 2 octaves too low to be Desi Arnaz. Like
he's my height.
Yeah.
But
he looks nothing of the part and sounds nothing apart. I'll tip my hat to Javier doing his own singing, his own dancing, his own, the performance aspects of that role. But no matter how much he does it, I hear Javier Bardem down here, and Desi is way up here doing all trippy things.
Desi's way up here.
Way up here. Yeah.
They call me Cuban Beat. I'm the king of the rumba beat.
Let him go, man, right there.
And
yeah. And then Javier's down here, like, as Anton Chigurh, tick ticky boom, tick ticky boom. Like, whoa.
Exactly.
Javier. Yeah.
Exactly. He's got that big bass voice. And then the other thing is when you cast an actress who's 5'10" to play Lucy, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. That none of those guys have a shot against Andrew Garfield anyway.
No,
so.
Not a shame. Benedict Cumberbatch does.
Maybe Denzel. I
see here. I handicap that field, and you have. I mean, Bardem doesn't deserve to be there, and then you have Washington is there. You have Washington, Smith, Cumberbatch, and Garfield. To me, it's a 2-horse race between Cumberbatch and Garfield. Smith is there as a nice story, but he was better in The Pursuit of Happiness a long time ago, and the nomination is his reward for slumming it these last couple of years, making really bad movies where, hey, Will, let this encourage you to go get some more parts. And then for Denzel's reached kind of a Meryl Streep level where kind of everything he does is worthy of nominations, and they're just probably not going to give him the win now. Some year will come where, hey, we haven't given him an Oscar in 20 plus years. He probably needs one more to be the man, even if it's a year where his idol Sidney Poitier has passed away. And what a great thing it would be to, the same night that Will won his lead Oscar for Training Day, Sidney Poitier got his Lifetime Achievement Oscar. On a night that you have Sidney Poitier in the in memoriam section, wouldn't it be nice if Denzel matches that again with another win? But it won't be for this. It'll be Cumberbatch or Garfield. So listen,
they gave it to Anthony Hopkins last year, and I couldn't fucking believe my eyes.
Me too. I don't mind. I mean, it's Chadwick, the ghost of Chadwick Boseman, losing to Anthony Hopkins on his best day. So I mean, it was a really good part for him, but it just out of nowhere picked.
I didn't. The father didn't grip me like I wanted it to, and that was my biggest problem. And I saw it in the theater.
It got me a little bit, but yeah, me too. The theater. So, but no, it's you have to look at those acting awards as a place where you got to honor the performance itself, but at the same time, what's the bigger part of it? And in a way that's just one more really good thing Anthony Hopkins has done versus a place to honor Boseman for the best thing he'll ever do. And that's a missed opportunity, even if the show overproduced it, to think that moment was coming.
Yeah, and I think one of the things for me really this year is that Andrew Garfield should already have an Oscar for The Social Network.
That's I
He
can't go
lost
there
to
with that
Christian
one.
Bale. He lost to Christian Bale,
I
who wasn't
know.
a supporting role. Who wasn't in a supporting role.
True, but Garfield's a long way. I mean, that's Jesse Eisenberg's
I think
movie.
I'm gonna put my bets on Garfield because when you think about it, like he just cannot get away from Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
Like he sorely do it. Like what? The Mel Gibson movie.
Yeah.
I
He
saw
deserved that one.
Silence. He
Even though I
didn't
wouldn't
deserve that
like
one
it,
either. But yeah,
I recently saw The Eyes of Tammy Faye,
he's
and that was
really
actually
good in
a
that.
quite interesting movie.
Yeah.
He's
Actually
so
quite-
good at that.
That might be the
Huh?
ingredient that puts him over the top. Is like, you've seen those years where there's that one performance that they're nominated for, but maybe there's that second one that boosts the resume a little bit. Like, in a way, you're voting for Tick Tick Boom, but you're kind of also voting for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which is darn good from him. So, and then sometimes this is that moment, the Oscars kind of, is this the time to give it to him, or will they do that whole, will they have more bites at the apple kind of thing, where when they do that, sometimes they wait too long, like, or they wait a movie or two away from where they really should have won it. Like Leonardo DiCaprio was way better in The Wolf of Wall Street than he was The Revenant, but that was the spot to finally give it to Leo. Do we have to do that to either Andrew Garfield or Benedict Cumberbatch? Both are young enough that they're going to get more shots, but is yeah? And then, so now you're between a veteran and an ingenue, because Andrew Garfield's young enough to kind of still be, kind of where Emma Stone won a few years ago, or, other Alicia Vikander won a couple years ago, where they're still in that young half where most of his career is ahead of him rather than behind him. Whereas Cumberbatch is kind of right in that middle age where, is this the time to get him, or is this the turn to give to Andrew? So
I would also put in the other mixed ingredient, Don, and that is, if you take Benedict Cumberbatch out of Power of the Dog, it's still a great movie. The cast is still giving some of their best performances, right?
No, it isn't. No.
Either way, they're still
You
giving
need
great
him, yeah.
performances, right?
It's true.
But if you take out Andrew Garfield out of Tick Tick Boom, it's a completely different movie. His energy and everything, that's not even a movie.
Yeah. No, I think
Andrew's
performance, just from performance to performance, and I know you're measuring musical / dramedy versus horror drama, Andrew just does more, period. And that should outweigh a few things. But Cumberbatch will be back again, and Andrew Garfield will be back again. Whoever loses will not be worse for wear.
No, they will not, and that's what's awesome about these sort of discussions.
What are you thinking, Chai?
They're probably just going to be brought back anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go through the nomination. Go.
Yeah, that's true. I completely agree with you. Now, guys, we talked about some snubs here, but it's time for the pièce de résistance, the main event of this evening. Shay came up with a great idea. Shay, what was your idea? Tell them what it is so that we can get into it.
Oh, okay. So that's actually, so I saw this movie, and it's going to be one of my choices, but how I came up with this idea, how I suggested it to Will, was I saw this movie, and I ended up really, really liking it. I'm trying to show it to other people. I'm trying to figure out, what I always do. I do a little reading on every single movie that I watch. So this movie in particular, I found out has actually been incredibly critically panned. And I was like, but what? This is a great movie. I need a platform to voice, why I think it's great, because, reasons, evidence, construction, all that stuff. So I was just like, what if we look at movies that have been critically panned that we think deserve to be looked at differently, that we think are actual good movies?
All right.
So that being said, and because I'm a gentleman, Shay, you're going to go first because you're the lady here.
Yes, please.
Ooh, a gentleman. Anyway,
a gentleman wearing Grinch
pajamas.
Exactly. Yeah.
So as I always do, I went through my entire IMDb list. It's really hard not to go overboard. Will was choose 2, and I was like, I have 7. So it was really hard to narrow it down between all of my favorites.
I want to hear those honorable mentions at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. And I tried choosing films that were more accessible to people, maybe stuff that people have more likely heard of. But there are also movies that I have mentioned in podcasts before, so I'm not even gonna go there. But for my first choice, the movie that actually motivated the topic for me was In the Tall Grass on Netflix. One of the newer Stephen King adaptations that he wrote with his son, and it's so cute and it's so great, and it rings true to Stephen King B horror, but at the same time it brings so much new, creative, fantastic, fun imagery that I just really enjoyed. And Will is shaking his head, he's rubbing his temple, and he has a headache. Do you need an aspirin, Will?
Hit him up.
After watching that movie, absolutely I did. I saw it at Fantastic Fest and I wanted to walk out.
Oh man.
That's a damn shame. Don, have you seen it?
No, I have not. I mean, I
Don't.
know Patrick Wilson's there. A couple years back, just I'm not much
Yeah.
of a. I admit I'm a big pussy. I'm not much of a horror guy, so it wouldn't be something that would cross my paths. But I want to hear the case that makes this something I got to go seek out and find.
I will defend this movie up my butt. I've actually seen it 3 times now. That's how much I like it. And I have, yes, I have. I admit, I don't care if you think it's a bad movie, because all my feelings about it are substantiated. There's stuff to think about afterwards, and it's not like it's a deep or complex movie or anything. It's not like some subversive A24 hereditary Saint Maud kind of thing. It's not meant to be thought about that hard. It's Children of the Corn meets time loop shittery and all that.
All right.
And it's so much fun. The acting is absolutely fantastic. At first I wasn't sure about it, because Patrick Wilson is kind of the headliner of the film. He's kind of the most marketable person in the movie, even though the entire cast was pulling so much. Even the child acting was on point, in my opinion. Creepy little kid who also looks like a tiny adult man for some reason. Cool, great casting. There's a lot of very typical Stephen King elements, but there were also some things in the actual filmmaking that I noticed that actually like stayed true to the story elements and the narrative. Like when you listen to the soundtrack, the grass is literally talking and whispering at you. I was just like, oh, that's kind of a cool detail. Like stuff like having to do with the mysterious church, the mysterious bowling alley stuff. There's little details that kind of help weave and hold the story together. Again, bringing it back to Patrick Wilson though. I am no stranger, and I don't think anyone really is at this point, to seeing Patrick Wilson in the creepiest freaking roles, like Hard Candy, what was it? Little Children. That was a great role. I just love Patrick Wilson. And in this, like, he literally brings it all, but you kind of have to bring yourself also to the mindset of, I'm watching a B movie. So of course, like this acting is going to be kind of indulgent, but at the same time, I feel like that overstated performance that he gives is totally like reasonable within like the parallels of the universe, like the limitations, like what is actually going on in the universe. And like I said, the imagery, there's some really exciting fucked up imagery, which Don, if you're not too crazy about horror movies, or if anyone isn't too crazy about horror movies, I wouldn't necessarily say this would be your cup of tea, because there was some imagery where I literally had to stop and I had to think about it for a second, and I was like, did they really just do that? You know, it's an old, it's kind of been done before as the concept, but in how it was delivered, in every aspect, it did not fail for me.
Okay.
Case in point.
So we're here with movies, as William set up, to be under 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this one I'll hit you up. This one's 36, and the critics' consensus says a potentially intriguing premise is rapidly lost in the weeds during In the Tall Grass, which struggles to stretch its slim source material to feature length.
Do you think they stretched it? Shay, or no?
Because I went in cold. I went in trying to find something to multitask to on Netflix. So I came across that, but I kind of had to give it all of my attention because I don't know, the pacing is different for me. I noticed that the structure was a little different because where it takes you in the film is kind of unpredictable. It is kind of windy. And I could see how that displeases some people. But when I went back through and I thought about the movie and I rewatched the movie, I was actually, this pacing actually makes a lot of sense. And I thought it was pretty tight pacing for me. I didn't get bored. I didn't get tired of watching it the few times I watched it. So yeah, that's how I'm sorry if people got bored or whatever. And I could see how the source material could be thin, but again, it's like it's a Stephen King joint.
Right.
What it's the best we can do.
I do want to say this, Shay. I was sitting like 4 seats from Vicento Natali, and I was doing this the whole time. And I know he saw me.
For the podcast viewers, Will is leaning over and rubbing his head in a distressing way of what the fuck am I watching? What the fuck am I watching?
That's exactly it. Thank you for the narration, Don. That is exactly what I was going for with that look, because that's exactly how I felt watching it. But the thing about Shay is when she says stuff, I'll take her at her word.
Me too. Right here. I
believe her. I believe her. I've seen the movie. And the funny thing is, okay, so my son's mom loves the movie. So she's with you.
All right.
I disagreed with her. So that's what's so funny. Now, because again, I am a gentleman. Don, since you're the guest, what's your first one?
My first one is I also kind of knew this was February and Valentine's Day season, so I went with romances. Both my movies are romances.
Me too.
Two romances that couldn't be more different though. So the first one comes at 25% in Rotten Tomatoes. It's from the glorious year that I graduated high school, 1997. I'm bringing forth Booty Call, Jamie Foxx's OG Discovery movie here. This movie I've learned since 1997 just that good sex farces are hard to find, especially nowadays, where it just either the farce goes too dirty in a hurry, because 2 years after this was American Pie, and then everything had to be raunch to the nth degree, where it was just horn dog stuff all the time, or just a horn dog to the level of just more of a stupid level than more of a, we're really trying to make a relationship kind of eventually show up in the end of a raunchy movie and a sex farce. And this one kind of does, because I don't know if you Will, have you seen it?
Oh, come on, I'm from Los Angeles. I saw that
just checking
in 2002, my friend.
Sure. Chai, have you seen it?
I have never even heard of it, so you got to sell me on this.
All right. So you have two, it's like a buddy sex farce here. So Tommy Davidson of In Living Color, skinny, hilariously physical comedian, is kind of in like a somewhat long-term relationship with his girlfriend, played by Tamala Jones, a nice actress who's been a good bunch of little things in TV ever since. And they're on a date, and they're kind of at that point where like, hey, maybe it's time to have sex. And she's really apprehensive about it. He's really going for it. They both bring a buddy to make a double date and kind of try to do a blind date and just kind of be the grenade that kind of is passed on the night to kind of help keep the two from going into bed with each other. So Tommy Davidson brings his buddy named Buns, played by Jamie Foxx, and a young Jamie Foxx who is just off the wall, hilarious, just kind of tries to be slick, but is in an uncouth, kind of almost uneducated way. And then Tamala Jones's character, her kind of backup is the drop dead gorgeous 1 year after Independence Day, Vivica Fox, who is just gorgeous in this movie. And they initially, she plays a character that's meant to kind of be hot to trot and refined, and wants a nice guy, almost probably a rich guy, just wants somebody really, clean and sophisticated and all that. And then she's kind of forced on this date to kind of hang out with Buns, a character who's just, a guy who's going to play dice in the alley, in the bath, and break at a restaurant. But as the night goes on, it ends up kind of being that like, Tommy Davidson's character and Tamala Jones's character are kind of like, yeah, you know what? It's time. Let's do it. Let's have sex. But we're going to do it safely because it's the 90s. So it becomes this late night, in the middle of the night quest to like, where can we find a condom? Where can we find dental dam? It's hilarious where convenience stores are involved, and like it's one of those one wild night moments of what can go wrong will go wrong in the quest to kind of get laid, but also get laid in a nice, safe way. So it's a sex farce about safe sex, which is hilarious because the fun part is by the way the movie kind of develops. Vivica, of course, is gonna, kind of fall for Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx is gonna, approach Vivica enough to make this happen. And it's we always get so close, we always get so far, we always fool around and mess around, but we never culminate to the point because got to do it the right way. And it's silly, it's funny, it's a good LA movie, and at the time, Jamie Foxx was a very unknown commodity, and he just comes in like a force of comedy. He was known for his impressions back when he was a stand-up act, and here he is like in bed. Vivica Fox says this terrible thing where like it just opens the door for Jamie, where like, what I really love in bed is a man who does impressions. And so Jamie Foxx, while trying to just grind and get in with Vivica Fox, is starting to do Bill Cosby, starting to do Martin Luther King, starting to do all these impressions, and it's just Jamie Foxx unchained and having a blast that you will have never seen since and probably won't see again from Jamie. And he steals the show of this movie. And the scene after scene of the hijinks are hilarious. Will, if you remember the footsie scene during
It's
the
so
car
ridiculous.
game,
He's so
it's
ridiculous.
But like the way the music goes, the way the camera goes between them, and the way that like there's this little turn on moment, and these actors who are actors have to kind of like pretend that you're aroused by feet touching each other in a footsie kind of way, and the camera lets them go for it. And then the dog gets involved, and Will knows where the scene's going, and it's just hilarious. Like if you needed a scene to get you into this movie, Chai, do footsie
Oh.
scene call on YouTube and just watch the 5 minutes of just high comedy. And I love it. It's a hilarious movie.
Let me just say before
Yeah.
we see if it could have been shared or not. This movie is fucking ridiculous. And it is hilarious. And I agree with you. I think that Tommy Davis is one of the funniest goddamn people I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. Underrated too.
And
doesn't get enough credit for what he does.
And he still gets the whole thing stolen by Jamie Foxx. And Jamie Foxx is absolutely hilarious. It's really funny because during that time in the late 90s, there was a lot of comedies like that featuring amazing black comedians that were so freaking hilarious. Pootie Tang, Booty Call, Don't Be a Menace to Society while drinking your juice in the hood. These things were all so damn funny, and Booty Call is one of the best of them. I gotta be honest with you, Don. I wasn't expecting that.
All right. No,
Didn't see that coming.
And I tell you what, as the old white man of the room here, the closest movie theater to me when I grew up, I'm a Gravel Road Dairy Farm kid who now lives in Chicago, which is astounding to my friends and family who are like, oh my God, you live in the murder capital of the world, because everyone else is still milking cows. But so the closest theater to me to see this movie was like the Black Theater down, the next town over. So I go to the 9:30 Friday night premiere show. My buddy and I are the only two white people in the audience, and everything else is packed, ready to see Tommy Davidson and Jamie Foxx. And it's one of the best, loudest, most raucous communal movie experiences I've ever had in my life. Hilarious night. Great movie. Plays great to a crowd.
That is a fantastic pick. Shay, what are you thinking?
You had me at Booty Call. So
Right?
that's a win. That's a W.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. He's down to watch silly, stupid comedies, mostly because of Landon, my partner. He's really indoctrinated me into the whole like 90s comedy.
Yeah.
He's a big Adam Sandler fan. I'm getting big into Medea right now.
Okay.
God.
That's a rough road to go. Good luck.
Yeah, that's a gravel road, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that, Shay. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, 1997's Booty Call, celebrating its 25th anniversary. I write for a website called 25 Well. I guarantee before the year is over, I will write a nice 25-year retrospective piece on Booty Call, of all things.
I love that. And what I also love is that I chose a more contemporary film for mine. My first
more contemporary than 1997. Not hard to do.
Not hard to do. No, my first film is Chris Evans's directorial debut, Before We Go, which features a 36 on Rotten Tomatoes, the 27 on Rotten Tomatoes. Basically, Shay, have you seen this movie?
I've not even heard of it. I didn't even know Chris Evans directed a movie.
Exactly. Don, have
Yeah.
you seen it?
I have, as a side note, on my little tiny website, every movie has a lesson, before getting published and going to other things. This is the most read review in my website's history. For some like this, I saw like the search results of like where the sources of that post come from and the data on my website. Like some Chris Evans fan blog has, and some Reddit room has like passed my review around for a long time. I don't know, thousands of views of all the movies on my site. This is the most read review I have. Crazy.
That happened to us. That happened to us with Keanu Reeves in the first John Wick movie because we saw it 2 months in advance. Some Keanu Reeves blog just passed it on, but it's not the most read review. You'd never fucking guess the most read review in our website's history.
People
you
wouldn't guess the Evans one. So yeah.
No. But what this movie is, Shay, because I'm gonna set the scene for you. Chris Evans plays a busker in Grand Central Station. Alice Eve plays a businesswoman just trying to get from Boston to New York. She misses her train from Boston to New York. This busker, played by Chris Evans, helps her, but she's trying to get back to New York before her husband does. Now we have a night full of shenanigans between these two very handsome people doing very romantic things. The best scene in the movie is the wedding scene.
Yeah, good one.
Without a doubt. And this movie, I swear to God, is so much better than the 27% that Rotten Tomatoes has it at. And it says here, for the consensus, Chris Evans' directorial debut is modest to a fault, with a threadbare story and minimal styling, leaving his and Alice Eve's likable performances adrift in New York City with nowhere to go. I completely disagree.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I know a lot of people gave it the knock of being like Linklater light, and it is modest, but you know what? There's a place for modest, and Chris can play that to a T, so it works.
Listen, Chris Evans is so good at the modest romantic lead. He did another one with Jenny Slate a few years ago that was also quite good. I can't remember the title right now, where he has a daughter. Gifted.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Good movie.
Another slight performance, modest performance from Chris Evans. When the guy has to rein it in, he is very good still. And here he reins it in. He plays almost like, you guys have seen Once, right?
Yeah.
He plays that Glenn Hansard type role, but with a much more leading man feel because he's so damn handsome.
Oh, I know.
Now, I know this is a hard sell because, Shay, I don't know if you're going to like this movie or not, but I love it. Don loves it. We love this movie.
Yeah, I'll help you on this one. I mean, if you do like, and it's an easy 95 minutes where, if you like, I know it's a knock, but at the same time, it's a compliment to me, is if you like a Richard Linklater before series kind of film where walk and talk, find out about each other, slow play the attraction, will they or won't they vibe.
Some music.
Yeah, and the music is very good too. So, if you like that vibe of like, well, can a couple figure it out? Should a couple figure it out? And where will the night take them? And because to me, not a stitch of that movie is predictable. Maybe the pace is predictable, but at the same time, you have the open-endedness of New York and where these two very attractive characters can go, and they don't go to places you think they would. It's not a hopscotch of tourist things like, oh, let's go ice skate in Rockefeller Center. Oh, let's go get a famous sandwich or something like that. It's all under, I don't want to say underbelly of New York because it's not that seedy or anything, but it's all this underneath things of just the affluenceness that she can reach or the stuff that he knows, and it works all right.
There's an underlying normality to all the situations they get themselves into.
Totally.
Everything is just normal people shit. And it's these two awesome freaking characters falling in love, and you're falling in love with them. And it's just, I love that ride. And Shay, you know me, girl. I'm a romantic guy at heart. I love romantic comedies. They are my specialty. So when I saw this movie, I could not help but fall in love with it. And I hope you will too, Shay. What do you think?
I think I'm sold, at least on watching it. I don't know whether or not I like it because as far as romance movies go, I'm usually pretty on and off, but I can appreciate a good, like, stripped down romance where, as far as what I get from what you guys are describing, something more genuine. And we always have that genuine romantic tension and all that. Even from smaller movies that I thought I would end up hating, I've had that experience where it's just like, oh, I actually don't mind watching these two people kind of have that romantic tension, but at the same time, they're just like interacting with each other, but it feels so real. So if that's the case for the movie, then I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I like what William said, where there's some normalcy of you you have to ask yourself, what would you do in that situation? Both at the male end or the female end. Like, if you're a male, would you step out and ask somebody for, to be a good Samaritan, and ask for a little bit, or, provide a little bit of help? As a woman, would you accept that from just some busker in New York? And how cautious would you be with it? How far would you take the guy around? And like, how much could you keep that how much magnetism would be there, and how much generosity would be there? And it plays really well.
Listen, if I'm a woman and the busker looks like Chris Evans, whatever you want, baby boy.
I know. Or if a lost woman looks like Alice Eve, hey girl, what you need,
What do you need, girl? Whatever you need, girl, I will supply. You need drugs? You need alcohol?
Right.
What you need, girl? Alice Eve's a handsome woman. She really is.
Chai, are we back to you in pick number 2?
Woo! Let's see what you got.
I suppose so. I gotta make this one a good one, and this was on accident, but like you, Don, my choices also have a theme for them. So the last film that I chose was a Stephen King movie. The next film that I'm choosing is also a Stephen King movie, and I did not do that on purpose at all. But I thought I should bring this up because apparently now it's relevant again. And I chose Drew Barrymore's masterpiece of a performance, Firestarter.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know why. I don't know what it. I was actually talking with Landon about it today, and it feels something out of like a childhood dream where your family has these superpowers, and then this little girl, she has these superpowers. Drew Barrymore is a kid. Like that's pretty much all you have to expect from her performance. Girl does her very best. She throws everything into it. She's crying like every other scene. Like it looks absolutely like exhausting to be Drew Barrymore in this movie. But I love the father character. He was just like one of those very handsome Jeff Bridges Starman-esque dopey ass.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's pretty charming somehow. And then you just follow him and his daughter on the run from the government, trying not to bow down to them and be test experiments. And then I see James is in the chat.
Guys, we have a special appearance for James. He's in the middle of something, but say hi, James.
Hello everyone. How is everybody doing?
So far, so good, James.
You handsome
so far,
bastard.
So good. Have I dropped in any spicy discussions, or what am I dropping in?
We're talking about the Prodigy songs Firestarter. I'm just kidding. We're talking about the movie Firestarter.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite songs.
I have never heard of it, but I will add it to my watch list.
Or don't.
Chai, I will add it to my watch list. Sounds very nice.
Oh yeah. So they've actually already made a remake too. I saw an ad trailer for it on my YouTube just out of the blue, by happenstance, and no surprise, it looks severely cheesy, incredibly disappointing, but at the same time, I love the original Firestarter movie so much. It's just like so cheesy, such a comfort 80s sci-fi action movie with a bunch of pyrotechnics involved.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people who actually really likes watching.
Yeah, good effect.
Watching this little girl just go.
Mm-hmm.
She literally stopped. What, like invisible lasers come out of her eyes and she watches people burn to death.
Right.
That's metal as hell.
Let's just say it's the movie that turned Drew Barrymore into the weirdo she was for a long, long time.
Listen, I don't know what kind of drugs they gave her on that set, but the 90s thank her for it.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
We'll
I see that the director of that movie went on right after this to make Commando and blew more shit up, which is perfect. So.
And Commando's a goddamn classic.
Mm-hmm.
It is indeed. I have seen, and I will second that. Alrighty, folks. I'm going to drop out, but you guys continue the discussion, and I really hope to join you guys next time.
I can't wait to tell you about the theme because I've already booked the guest for next month, Thomas.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Que bueno. What's the theme?
Eres un supriso, ¿ya?
Okay. Sí. Sí. All right.
Hasta luego.
I shall. I will be back.
Sí, hasta
love
luego,
you guys.
pendejo, ¿eh? Hasta luego, pendejo.
Sí, para ti también. Take care, guys.
So a little bit of Spanish coming out of there. Don, you
Mhm.
understood most of that.
No, not at all.
I knew that.
Four,
I knew
4 years of high school Spanish and none of it stuck. Sorry.
20,
Oh,
34,
long time
34, 34 years of authentic brownness, baby.
There you go.
He said, "I'm dead. Love you guys." That's what James just texted me. So he loves us. Great job, James. We love you too, buddy. Shay, continue.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, this one has a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You
Ooh,
guys
see,
Surprisingly,
you're
mine-
picking these high ones.
Huh?
You're picking these high ones. Just
I
skirting under the 40.
Okay, so my honorable mentions are much
Yes.
lower, but they're also quite obscure. So I wasn't sure about choosing them, but I was surprised. I thought mine would be the stinkiest ones out of all of ours.
What are they?
Yeah, let's hear him.
My honorable mentions. So I gotta think about them at the top of my from the top of my head, but two of them are actually Harmony Korine movies. So I was almost going to mention Gummo, which has a 37%. And then
I like
there's also
Gummo.
Julie Lucky Boy, which I don't know if
Jackie
anyone has ever seen.
No.
No,
Lost
it's a
me there.
deeply disturbing movie about
You
a
don't say.
schizophrenic. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times and it leaves me deeply disturbed every time. But at the same time, it's just Harmony Korine does this whole thing where it's kind of just he chooses characters, builds them up, and then they just kind of go about their lives, and then he kind of follows just different things that happen in their lives. And I get why people absolutely hate that movie. I almost chose Trash Humpers, but then I realized that there's not really any value to Trash Humpers at all, so I left that one out.
That is the correct take. Yes.
Yeah, it is the correct take. I made a good decision on that
You did.
one.
You really did.
And then my last honorable mention was this movie called Offspring. And that one was my lowest one. I think it was in the 20s. If you guys don't know it, it's a horror movie about cannibals. And it's one of the most random trilogies you'll ever see. But I think it's actually a fantastic movie about like real cannibals, but also like kind of on the level of movies like Teeth, talking about and criticizing American culture. You maybe you've heard of The Woman too. That one was a sequel, and
Okay.
the lead actress Pollyanna, she's absolutely amazing as portraying this terrifying cannibal woman who will like kill and eat absolutely everyone, and it's amazing. And yeah, those are my pickaroos.
I
All right.
don't know what that last one is, but I kind of want to see it.
There you go.
You should see it because Pollyanna, the lady who played the cannibal, the main cannibal lady, she actually directed the third movie in the trilogy as well. And I watched it and I thought it was fine.
It
All
was
right.
all right.
It was fine.
It was all right.
The other ones are traster pieces, but these are fine.
Right.
These are fine. John, what you got?
Pick number 2. Let me double check where I'm at because I was going to get its Rotten Tomato score. All right. I had one honorable mention that wasn't romantic, but it actually had the same 16% score that my pick is going to do. So I'll drop my honorable mention at the same time Chai is. I was going to do Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie of the 80s. It's awful. It's a terrible movie. But I'm that kid of the 80s. Like He-Man was mainline, kid Saturday morning cartoon crack for me. The action figures and all, where they could, even if the He-Man movie was bad, and it was, I was all for it. I was like, couldn't wait to see it. I was, Dolph Lundgren was a big hunk of meat, and it was fine. And Frank Langella's chewing scenery all day. And Skeletor movie's terrible. I can't defend it, but that was an honorable mention down there in the teens. So, no, my real pick, staying in the romance category, and it was from again, I gotta go back to high school. So this is let me see here, double check. Yeah, 1996, the year before Booty Call. I'm going with a teen crush of mine, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Give me Simply Irresistible.
Ooh, good one.
Oh,
Good pull, Don. I like it. It's a terrible movie,
So-
but I like it.
it's a terrible movie. Yeah, it's there's elements of this movie that are very redeemable because there's some cuteness and there's some I don't want to say full. Yeah, I can see it like this. There's like a nice chaste PG charming romance that's in there that if you were to shoot it 60 years before and put it in black and white and remove some of the BS 90s stuff, it would play like a really good screwball comedy of very creative and romantic proportions. And so, Chai, have you heard of this one?
Absolutely not.
No. All right. So, Sarah Michelle Gellar in her Buffy the Vampire Slayer prime, and right off of
Don,
I
it's
know
full
what you did last summer.
buffiness. It's full
What's that?
buffiness.
It's
That
full
is the
buff.
phrase.
Well,
Full
she
buff.
plays a sliver of buffiness in this movie. Like she has actually gone on record to say this is her least favorite film she's ever made. But this
Wow.
is like 2 months before Cruel Intentions came out, which really played off of her buffiness charm. So she plays a struggling restaurant owner and chef, like in Queens or Manhattan, and and she finds out that she is kind of a witch and has magical powers where her emotions go into the food that she cooks, and the people that eat that food uh take on those emotions in the moment. So if she's having a bright, fluffy, and amazing day, and someone eats the quiche that she made, they all of a sudden can't control themselves, also turning bright and fluffy and amazing. And if she eats something sad, they uncontrollably feel sad. And she kind of catches the eye of and gets super swooned by Sean Patrick Flannery from the Boondock Saints as like the love interest. And he's like this department store manager slickster who's really nice and not a bad guy at all, but he doesn't understand how much he's uncontrollably drawn to her when it's really the magic that's doing the pulling. And the terrible parts of this movie are like, you have your like black 90s sidekick character who's not, like, oh, token minority buddy. And then there's this weird magical crab that's kind of the source of her power, that when he's around, this magic happens. And that part's just dumb because it's like this little prop that can kind of sort of move just a little bit, and then they have like a little crab like sound effect. It's really bad. But when the movie's romance is on, and this is like I think this was like Amanda Pete's big screen debut too, where she plays this bitchy girlfriend character for Sean Patrick Flannery that ends up getting tossed aside because Sarah Michelle Gellar is hotter and more adorable. But no, the movie is really adorable because it all kind of culminates in the will they or won't they, and it's a very meet cute situation of a romantic comedy. She's commissioned by him to put on this big lavish dinner party at the Gimbel's department store, and that's the kind of the big night where all the magic comes together. And the scene that is that big last dinner, the food looks fucking phenomenal, where like drool worthy phenomenal. There's these caramel eclairs that are like the romance vibe food that comes out multiple times in the movie, and you just die to have to try them. And but like the food looks good, and then like as the scenes happen, like there's this like the soup that lets out the mist, and then the whole dance hall catering room starts to fog up, and the music lifts, and people start to dance because they're all uncontrollably drawn by these emotions that come out when from her cooking. And it really is kind of a slow, glossy, old school 30s level romance that in a different, played at 1.25 speed, and you take out the crab, it would play really good as a screwball comedy of the 30s where Stewart and Hepburn could do that sort of thing, and it would be charming as fuck. I dig the movie. It's sweet, it's cute. Food's really cute and irresistible in that kind of way. And yeah, but it's 16% and a very 90s just weak movie. So
Listen, it's a weak movie because it has a weak script, but the
it does.
performances are way better than that script are. And
Yeah.
I actually really like this movie. That's a good pick. And this should just show you how big of a connoisseur I am of the romantic comedy. I have seen every single one of these picks.
Yeah.
I love the romantic comedy. It's one of my favorite genres, and so I have seen Seriously Irresistible. That's a great pick. Sarah Michelle Gellar, cute as can be. Sean Patrick Flannery, uncontrollably charismatic in this movie.
Handsome devil, man. Handsome devil.
Handsome devil, so charismatic, and I love that pick, Don. So good. Shay, what you thinking, girl?
Oof.
Yeah.
That's an iffy one. That's a hard sell for me, my friend. But you know what? Never judge a book by its cover, right?
No, you should certainly judge this book by its cover. Absolutely.
Right. It actually has really good like art, and like its its original title was called Vanilla Fog. The costumes and the pinks and the colors are really good, but it's still kind of 90s feminine. Like she doesn't have a lot of quote unquote agency. She's just kind of serendipitously skipping by on this magic, trying to get the guy, and like is that's the only thing that matters in her life, and it's kind of weak for that. But no, super charming. If I send you to YouTube, find just look up Carmel Eclair's Simply Irresistible, and you watch because Patricia Clarkson's in this movie. Who's the guy? He played Kirk Connors in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Super duper good character actor. I forget what his name is. But you have some pro character actors whose job is there just to kind of play the saucy sidekicks and to half fall in love but then nod and then overreact to all the emotions that happen from the cooking, and it's easy. It's an easy 90-minute movie again as well. So, but low, it's 16%. It's a ways down there.
Would you say as a whole it makes for a great comfort watch?
I think so. When you throw in the food and the sweetness of the romance, because it is, I want to say it's like PG chaste. If it's PG-13, it's because of probably one semi-dirty joke about belts and suspenders and penis size or something like that. But the rest of it's pretty squeaky clean.
Yeah, I think it's very much a comfort watch. You know what's funny? Both of my honorable mentions are honorable mentions because they didn't qualify. Barely.
What do you mean by didn't qualify? Didn't have Rotten Tomato reviews or something?
They are both 43 and 42%, so they weren't low enough.
Ooh, okay.
Qualify. My first one is an absolute 90s teen comedy classic, She's All That.
That's a good one. And it's in the 40s?
42.
Okay. Darn good movie.
And going back to your earlier point about the sex comedies of the 90s, I picked one that actually came out in 1999 and is a personal favorite of mine. 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Get Over It.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Nice call there. Yeah.
Does not qualify because it is under. The one I went with, I can't wait to talk about this one. The one that I went with currently has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Four.
4%.
Single digit 4.
It is directed by the lovely television director Nicole Cassell, who has done so much good work in television. It stars an Emmy winner and an Oscar nominee. It is called A Little Bit of Heaven.
I have to remember this one. Hold on here.
Don't
Going to
worry,
the other tab.
I'll fill you guys in. Don't worry
All
about
right.
it.
You keep talking. I'm in.
So A Little Bit of Heaven stars Kate Hudson, who's an Oscar nominee, and Gael Garcia Bernal, who won an Emmy for Mozart in the whatever the fucking Mozart in the Park is what it was called, right? Yeah. So Kate Hudson plays a woman who is diagnosed with terminal cancer. Her doctor, played by the strapping, young, and handsome Gael Garcia Bernal, is her doctor. He falls in love with her doctor because she's got nothing to lose by falling in love with this handsome doctor. It is one of the first times I ever saw a Hispanic man in the lead role of a romantic comedy.
Yeah. And let's see here, 2012, that'd be that's a distant shot for Gael Garcia Bernal. So yeah.
Exactly.
I see you also have an Oscar winner in this movie. You got Kathy Bates in here.
Yes, you do. Kathy Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. Ooh. So when I tell you that your boy brought it with this last pick, I was not kidding. 4% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. The consensus of this film, and this is a direct quote, A Little Bit of Heaven subjects viewers to a whole bunch of schmaltz and stands Kate Hudson and Gael Garcia Bernal in a fatally misguided film. Give me all the schmaltz. I am a huge fan of Frank Capra and all his crap. I love schmaltz, and I love my schmaltzy romantic comedies, and that's what this is, and it's so goddamn good, and I love it, and honestly, you know where the film is going from start to finish.
Okay.
But I don't care. I just don't give a shit.
That's a hard sell, Will.
That's a harder sell than mine. Because mine at least has food and flighty cuteness, but I don't know, man.
Mine has a foot and fancy-free commitment-ophobe falling in love with a handsome doctor.
Where we've not seen that before. Come on now.
Exactly. And she's dying of colon cancer. Anyway.
Oh, that should say a lot right there. Just
the most romantic of all cancers.
Oh, totally.
Anyway.
Right there with testicular cancer. Totally. Yeah.
Yes, but Kate Hudson can't get testicular cancer, so there's that.
Can she though? Come on. No. All right. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. No. Also, Peter Dinklage is in this movie.
No way.
I just want to point that out.
This cast, the cast lineup is crazy.
I'm reading it. Yeah. That's
I'm
right.
really
Whoopi
curious.
Goldberg.
I'm probably gonna watch the trailer after we log off
Yeah,
because
same here.
it's 4%.
It almost demands to be seen. Like, wait a minute, how 4% can it be?
And,
Yeah.
and when
It's
I
like,
tell you, when I tell you that I don't love the movie, obviously, because it's not a good movie, but
Mhm.
it's awesome. It's just a comfort movie. You just turn it on, you're like, I'm gonna go do the dishes. Turn it on,
Yeah.
watch it while you're doing the dishes, laugh a little bit, watch Gael Garcia Bernal be super handsome. It's just awesome.
You've got some under the title talent here too. Like Russell Carpenter is a good cinematographer. Ann Roth is a gorgeous costume designer.
Nicole Cassell is a great television director.
Yeah.
You look at
You
her
got-
resume.
Heitor Pereira doing, obviously his Spanish flavored music, and he does nice work. Because I'm trying to think, what's his big stud movie? Heitor Pereira. Oh, he does all the Minions, and oh, never mind. He's evolved his career greatly since 2012. So never mind.
Yeah. But the point is, there's a lot of talent there making this movie, and I really think that people should check it out just because it's such a weird spin on the classic romantic comedy spin.
Okay.
And I would never make this a fresh movie. It definitely deserves to be a Rotten Tomatoes movie,
Okay,
a Rotten
good.
movie, but it doesn't deserve 4%. Maybe 40, but not 4.
That's a tough one. No, yeah. I realized I had one more honorable mention, but like you, it was like just barely under 40, where I'm like, I can do better. And it was I stayed in the sex farce thing, kind of like you're going here. I did 40 Days and 40 Nights from 2002 with
I love that one. Good one. Yeah, Shannon Sossaman is so pretty in that movie. Good God.
Gorgeous in that movie. Yeah. Oh, drop dead
God.
gorgeous. But 39%, I'm like, I can do lower and better than that. So
Good God. I'm just in love. I am in love with her in Wrist Cutters. If you've never seen Wrist Cutters, A Love Story, it's one of my favorite movies.
I need to watch that one.
You should. Tom Waits is in it.
I love Tom Waits.
I knew you would love that. Yep. Tom Waits and Patrick Fugit are both in it, and Will Arnett plays Jesus, basically. See the movie. It's fucking awesome. Shea Wiggum plays a grumpy dead gypsy. It's fucking amazing. I love that movie so much. Basically, I'm going to give you the synopsis, even though I shouldn't. Basically, in Wrist Cutters, Patrick Fugit tries to kill himself after his girlfriend dumps him, and he goes to the land of in-between where people can't smile and everybody's an asshole. So when you kill yourself...
California, you got it. No.
Yeah, when you kill yourself, you don't go to regular hell or heaven. You go to an in-between world. So everybody in this world is dead, and they are all killed themselves.
Huh.
That's all I'm going to give you because the movie's fucking amazing. It's on Amazon Prime, so you guys can check it out right now. Wrist Cutters, A Love Story. It's so good. Also, a little bit of heaven. Check it out because it sucks balls and it's awesome.
I've got to look up if my movies are even available. Let me kind of peruse for the audience, people who are like, can you find those movies? So, Simply Irresistible. You guys keep talking. I'll keep searching.
You can definitely find In the Tall Grass on Netflix, right, Jay?
Oh, yeah. I think it was a Netflix original, actually.
So for me, Simply... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. You go ahead. It's nothing. What were you going to say, Don?
No, I had to look. Both of my movies are available streaming on Stars for those folks who have that shingle of stuff.
I do.
Stars.
I'm going to watch Simply Irresistible tonight.
You would.
I would, actually, yes. I'm going to watch Simply Irresistible tonight. Also, if you guys don't know this, if you guys like really good independent cinema, get Showtime because they have a contract with A24.
There you go. I'm not dropping my dime for Showtime though. I'll stick to the crappy stuff that's on Tubi.
Hey, The Apartment is on Tubi. How dare you?
I know. Well, they scatter every now and then a random like, holy cow, that's on Tubi. Yeah.
And The Apartment's one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and it's on Tubi. So I watch it all the time with the commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Wilder is one of the greatest filmmakers that nobody talks about.
Not anymore. It's a shame.
Talk about him. I talk about him all the time. Shay will tell you I talk about him incessantly. I love Billy Wilder. Yeah. Holy shit.
I talk about him all the time too, because no one really knows about him, but they know all his movies. Like I was talking to my partner the other day, and I was going down the list of all my favorite Billy Wilder movies. He was like, "Oh, I've seen that one. I've seen that one too. I didn't know he directed Some Like It Hot." Double Indemnity.
He's getting a whole chapter in my book.
Oh,
yeah.
Book.
Good.
So Don, can I tell you this right now? And I'm going to spring this on the audience because I never told them this. Right now, I'm working on a book about the history of the romantic comedy.
Now we're talking.
Throughout cinema and its creation, its the way it's changed with the times, the way it is one of the only
Yeah.
genres that has been there since the beginning of film and
Definitely.
still is going on and has changed with the time, from the screwball comedy to the sex comedies of the 70s and 80s
Yeah.
to the really lame 90s teen comedies to the mid 2000s by the book stuff to the modern renaissance, which started, I believe, in 2010 with 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah. I just watched 2 this week of fair to middling results, but they're trying. They're still out there. It's hard because I feel like those are the kind of movies that could be big screen communal experience appeals. Like, we're talking about movies that we watched in the big screen in our time, but like they're also the kind of budgeted movies that probably, especially in the blockbuster time, and we're in the COVID where I think it's gonna be hard for a romantic comedy to make it to a big screen when people will just turn them on Netflix the way they do Christmas movies on Lifetime. So
Listen,
it's tough.
I love romantic comedies so much. I made Shay go see one with me at Sundance 2020. I made her go see Dinner in America because it was my favorite movie of that, and it's a romantic comedy. Is it not, Shay?
Oh, that was a different breed of rom-com, though. That one was a different breed, and what an amazing movie.
That's
But
the thing.
that's how that genre works, though, Shay.
Yeah.
It's not one
That
thing.
director
It's so
still owes me $5. I
He
won
does
that
still-
bet.
He does still. You know what? I'm gonna text him later, and I'm gonna tell him that he stole your money.
You have his number?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So the director, cute story. We got to meet up with the director. We interviewed him, and he looks at me and he says, $5, you're gonna cry at the end of the movie. And I'm like, I'll take you up on that, bud. And I didn't end
I
up
will,
crying.
right? Bring it, right?
Fuck I will. I'm gonna hold all my tears back on purpose. Cash me outside. Like, he did not cash me out.
Right.
He's way
I
bigger
won
than
those $5
you.
fair and square, Adam.
He did. Adam Raymeyer, if you're listening to this, you owe her $5. Also, unless it's Black Bear, she did not cry at any of the films at Sundance.
I didn't cry. I don't know if I cried at Black Bear.
You
I
did.
think
You
I,
told me. You told me.
Oh, okay. I was really phased out for that one. No one, it's so dumb. I feel like I just have such specific experiences with movies sometimes. Sometimes
way-
because everyone was like so cold on that movie, but I was like, this is the greatest movie of the year.
I want
don't know why
to give a shout out to Shay because Black Bear just hit streaming. It's on Hulu and Paramount Plus. Both of those streaming services allow you to watch the trailer before it. I would say don't watch the trailer, but also maybe do because Shay's quote is in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I think I said specifically in my review to go in cold, but in this case, I do allow you viewers to look at the trailer. It's very important. Very important.
Very
information.
important.
Yeah, Black Bear, not a bad movie. Not a bad movie. I feel like it ran out of juice on the third try of its cyclical thing, but nah, stunning little premise that goes in different places. But
Ironically, I like the third.
lost me by the end. Third segment goes for more things than the other ones, but it still felt like where they started to where they landed. I'm like, I don't know if that's a big leap, but that
like
third
a
segment
movie-
is the big party. Yeah,
I like a movie with a sack on it, Don, and that movie has a sack on
that
it.
counts as a sack. Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
that movie has a
Yeah,
pair of
I
nuts on it.
Yeah. There's non-conformity in a movie like that, and I can tip my hat to that for sure.
I like
Oh,
anarchy.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
I
again,
like when I could watch a movie and have no idea what's about to go on, and
Mhm.
it starts out where you're just like, "What the hell am I watching? Why am I still watching this?" You know,
Yeah,
starting out movie. Try not to give too much away. The first half is basically you're watching a really uncomfortable, really poorly portrayed conversation like this weird dinner party thing going on, and then it spirals from there, and then it just it makes a total 180. So it's I don't know, it's movies like that, like Suicide Club, where I end up like being caught up in the first half and thinking all these negative things, writing down like, oh, I hate this movie, and then afterwards it gets me, and then I get the message, and I'm just like, whoa. So there's that like satisfaction, that adrenaline. It got me. That movie got me, and that movie did definitely get me real good.
and see,
Very cool.
while we're discussing movies I interviewed people for, another movie that caught me last year was Mark and Mary and Some Other People.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's a romantic comedy about this couple. They're a young couple. They're basically Ben Rosenfeld, and I forget the young lady's name. I interviewed her. She's brilliant. They are married, and they want to have a polyamorous marriage. They want to open up their marriage, but they realize that there are pitfalls to that. and it's actually directed by Hannah Marks, who's in Dinner in America, and it uses the same Mac DeMarco song, "My Kind of Woman," that is in Dinner in America in a pivotal scene. And I swear to God, if you have not seen, I saw it at South by Southwest, and if you or Tribeca, one of those two, if you have not seen Mark and Mary and some other people, see this damn thing. It's so good. I had the opportunity to interview the wonderful and lovely lead actors of the film, and I can tell you right now, I also interviewed Hannah, the director, and asked her about that using that "Some Kind of Woman" song, and she said she used it before they did, and they stole the idea, and she did it laughingly. But the biggest point for me of this movie was that the whole score and all the music, because he's both the composer and music supervisor, was Patrick Stump, the lead singer of Fall Out Boy.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Shut up, Jay.
That's fun.
No, it's Ben Rosenfeld and Haley Law. Haley Law's amazing. If you haven't seen Spontaneous, she plays the best friend in Spontaneous, which is a really awesome little tiny movie that came out last year, which was also good. Check out Mark and Mary and some other people. I am not being paid to say this, but you should do it anyway.
I hear the coins dropping in the thing. You're being paid.
Shut the fuck up. No, I genuinely talked about this last month when we were talking about our favorite films of the year. I did mention this film amongst my favorite films of last year as well. But it wasn't good enough to get one of my top 10 spots, but it was definitely an honorable mention in my book, and I really enjoyed the movie, guys. But that's been our discussion about really bad movies. You guys should check out all 6 of these movies and tell us how much you hate each and every single one of them.
Yep. And if you get time, throw a few loves thing, throw a few ways you love it too, but you might hate them all. It's true.
No, this is the internet. You know that the negativity sells.
Oh, true. That's why we're all here.
This is the internet. Like, this is how it works. You think people read the comments for the good stuff? No. They read the comments for the nasty slurs that I get called all the time. Get out of here. That's how it works. That's how the internet works.
True.
Damn it.
Rumbles.
Right? Now, we've got our main discussion out of the way, but I'm going to hit you guys with a curveball.
All right.
Because it's my show and I do whatever the hell I want.
Oh, damn.
We had a good time talking about what we talked about, but I wanted to, since Don wasn't here last month, Don, I wanted to get your opinion on something.
All right.
Since you're our guest. What was your favorite film of 2021?
See, you know me from the Feeling Film discussion group, where I'm a different guy between the word favorite and the word best.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why I didn't ask you your best film.
That's right. Favorite. I'll go a favorite film that is on here. The Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
That's a good pick. That's a great
pick.
As a pure
as a pure sweet little favorite, The Map of Tiny Perfect Things.
Amazon flick, guys. It's on Amazon Prime. Check it out. It's so fucking cool. It is.
If I'm going for like a heart kind of thing, where like a little bit of quality and a little bit of favorite, Coda. But I'll go to The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. The Underseen, and I just cool time loop movie. Done in a lot of I think in a lighter, more genuine way than something like Palm Springs, which still kind of gets a little harebrained and all that, and still self-aware enough of a time loop movie to kind of have its little rules and have its little things that it wants to do. But I love what it takes to get in, to be in it, but I also love what it takes to get out of it by the time you get to the end of the movie. It's just a nice little good hunk of heart, smart little young performances. Catherine, I'm gonna forget her last name, because she was in Freaky and then in this one as well. Newton. Catherine Newton, talent to watch. I mean, she's gonna go places and already.
She's also in Detective Pikachu, is she not?
I am not the target demographic to watch Detective Pikachu. Couldn't tell you.
Do you think that I am?
No, but you watch more trashy things than I do, as clearly seen. So, yeah.
True. Very true.
Yeah. I got scruples. I scruples and only so much time to write. So, I working too hard to watch Detective Pikachu. Yeah.
Would recommend.
But yeah, that'd be a favorite. If I'm doing a best. I'm doing best at that's probably Coda or The Tragedy of Macbeth. Yeah,
Coda is incredible, by the way. I saw it about I missed it at Sundance, but I saw it like a month and a half before it came out.
Nice.
Because they actually, what's weird is Apple sent me a screener, and the screener was to go to Apple and watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
and it was
I
outside of
mi-
their screening room.
I missed it. I missed it during the screening time and didn't catch it till a disc came my way during this season in time for voting deadlines in November. So I was very late to the party on Coda.
Now, I've mentioned Tick Tick Boom's one of my favorite movies, but I'm going to mention another one that didn't get any love at the Oscars, and it's an incredible goddamn movie, and it has my favorite actor in it. And that's Come On, Come On.
That probably deserves a chance between screenplay and Joaquin, but every year best actor is a super deep category where do you make space? I mean, don't get me wrong, we're out there kicking Javier Bardem out of the category, but still.
Mike Mills deserves some. By the way, if I was going to kick out Will Smith and Javier Bardem, which I would give Joaquin and Simon Rex for Red Rocket nomination.
I would
Oh,
do.
you know what? Yeah, Simon Rex was amazing in that. Oh
And
my
I
god,
said that, and I said that because I know you loved Red Rocket, Shay.
Mm.
I do. That was a fantastic movie.
It really is.
I'm a pretty big fan of Sean Baker's work. I love Tangerine. I loved the Florida Project. Oh my god! But Red Rocket, I think Red Rocket really is his best work as far as I've seen. It was so hilarious. It reminds me a lot of kind of like this weird 70s like grungy underground feel.
It feels like a PTA movie.
Yeah.
It kind of did, which is funny because there was actually a PTA movie that just released. And
I don't want to talk about that.
In contrast, yeah, you know what? In contrast, there's a weird flip flop happening right there. We can talk about it. We can go there if you want to, because I'm willing to say anything about it.
Well, I'll start with this. I'll start with this. I did not like Sean Baker's previous two movies. I did not.
See, I like the Florida Project a ton. You know, nice little heart from Willem Dafoe, unique little story. I know the ending throws people for a loop, where to me that's kind of like I don't mind that, like Peyton Farquhar, life flashing before your eyes, ending before she gets hauled away in a police car. But I dug it. Yeah, cool little performance from Brooklyn Prince. And
the ending is a little too cowardly for me.
Cowardly.
How
I don't know.
could
She
you?
still ends up in that police car. You know, she's still not going to have that life. So
Yeah, she
But we don't-
literally. You see a child disassociate and imagine that they're going to Disneyland, and
Right.
that is the saddest thing. One of the saddest things you can see on a
Absolutely.
day. That's
Yeah.
a
Listen.
good way to ruin your day and bring you back to all your childhood trauma.
And
I love
and
that.
I find most of Tangerine not that great. If I'm being honest.
yeah, I
with
can
you.
take a leap Tangerine.
Yeah, Tangerine is like entertaining to me, in the way that's like a movie, like a Harmony Korine movie would be, like The Beach Bum.
Yeah, Beach Bum's great.
Yeah, I would compare it a lot to like a really, really stripped down version of like the beach, like it's in the Beach Bummiverse.
And
I just really enjoyed watching the characters. They were fun. They were like it was kind of Zola,
Yeah.
which
Zola.
is a movie. Not
Zola's
such a great movie. That movie flew under the radar, and I'm so disappointed about that because that was such a fun movie.
Zola slaps.
It
I love
slapped
the
so
hell out of
hard.
it. I love the hell out of that movie. You and I saw that together, did we not?
I think we did.
Yeah, we saw it together at Sundance 2020. It was fucking great.
But I think we were like one of the very few people who actually wanted to have a good time at the movies. There were so many crabby people.
Yeah, I meet them too, where the critics that overly take it serious and forget to have a good time and let the escapism come to them.
I'll tell you this: me and Shay had a great time watching that movie. And I think we talked to Matt Negley afterwards, didn't we?
Good dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Matt Neglia gets around.
Yeah, don't let his wife know that. But yes, you're right.
The man is a whore for a free screening.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yes, yes, I am. By the way,
Mhm.
studios, if you want to give me a free screeners, I will take all of them. Thank you very much.
Are you, the pile of screeners on my coffee table right now, because I'm in 5 voting groups, is insane.
They're in my desk.
Mine can't fit on a desk. It's huge. Huge.
I have a big ass desk, so yeah, they fit in here.
Yeah.
I have a big ass desk, but let me just say, I know Sean Baker follows me on Letterboxd, and he's a very nice man, and he listens to us from time to time. So Sean Baker, I apologize that I don't like a lot of your movies, but when I tell you,
Wait, whoa, Sean Baker listens to us? Like wait, does he read our reviews or?
he's read, yeah, he follows us on Letterboxd, so he sees our reviews, dude.
And you
That is
just
so-
lost him. Yep. Poof.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you?
Yep.
No.
Thanks a lot,
Baker.
Will.
So here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. Sean
True.
Baker, I want to say this about Red Rocket. This is the best work you've ever done. I don't know what manic craziness you thought you should pick Simon Rex for this role, but he was legitimately perfect.
What an angel. What a perfect fit.
You
He's-
pulled him out of 90s obscurity.
Yeah.
Scary movie. But he did so good. Oh my god. This is just like he was so charismatic and starting off in the movie. I don't want to like give too much away, but starting off the movie, honestly, like he maintains like in spite of like the things that his character does or go through, he maintains this really weird charisma. Like he's a car accident of a man and you just cannot turn away, but he's so hilarious and he's so much fun to watch. And I'm just like, oh my god, I wish this is like, I want to see so much more of like this person and this character. And he really gets you excited to watch the movie as a whole. What's her name? Suzanne Summers. That's an actress's name too, right?
Yeah.
Summers.
The three.
Yeah, she plays. No, actually, I knew that was wrong. Let me look up her name. But she played the girl, the donut girl,
Susanna's son.
Wow, I was way off. Doesn't she? Is she? Her character's name is what? Strawberry or something like that. She was absolutely fantastic, and their chemistry was so weirdly matched.
Yeah, but I think that's why it works. I think that's why it works, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they shouldn't be they shouldn't be a couple. They shouldn't even be near each other, but here they fucking are. You know?
No, it ended up being quite it gave me flashbacks of Lolita almost.
A little bit.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to call out that Drew Daniels was the cinematographer on this, and he's a goddamn excellent cinematographer. He did Waves and It Comes at Night. That mother effer knows how to shoot.
Shut the shit out of those two movies. Gorgeous stuff, man. Waves.
He is a goddamn brilliant cinematographer, and whatever that mother effer does, I'm gonna watch next because he's so brilliant with his shot selection, the colors he chooses to shoot in, the angles that he picks. I don't know what the fuck. The first 5 minutes with the Backstreet Boys playing, and he's on the bus. I'm like, what the hell is this movie? This movie's fucking awesome.
It's so just hilariously jarring at every corner.
Yeah,
and each shot, like with each scene, each passing scene, it's a new like nightmare that's just hilarious and like kind of twisted and just off. But like, it was just such a great fun movie. I had such a great time watching it.
It's literally a orange of manic awkwardness. You just keep peeling the goddamn layers back, and it gets even more manic and awkward.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way of describing it.
By the way, that's going to be on the Blu-ray cover, you mother Fs. No, I did want to give everybody an update real quick before we let everybody go. Sundance happened. I saw way too many goddamn movies. I am tired. Emily the Criminal was a disappointment.
For shame.
Yeah.
I don't waste on plaza like that.
Listen, it wasn't good. And I'm sad about that because they wasted Aubrey Plaza, who is a personal Film Snob Reviews favorite by both myself and Shay. We both love us some Aubrey Plaza. But they wasted her. I want to say the best film that I saw there is definitely a tie between either Fire of Love or Cha-Cha Real Smooth.
Okay.
And if you haven't seen Cha-Cha Real Smooth and Apple picked it up.
Who has other than people at Sundance? We all got to wait months to see these movies. So
I think I'm
glad you're ahead.
I think it's coming out in May on Apple TV. So
May. That's so long from now, man. Come on.
Not really. I mean, people waited a whole year to watch the shitty end of the Avengers.
This is a good point.
I rest my case. Now, Don.
Yeah.
Our guest, our lovely guest, who he and I are the exact opposites when it comes to follicle.
Totally agree. Yeah, those
Challenge us
those
here.
luscious long locks and my shaved brilliance over here. Not too shiny. I'm doing all right. Shine control. Yeah, baby.
You gotta get that thing buffed out there, Don.
No, thank you. I can't
No,
blind children when I go to work tomorrow. No.
listen. If the worst thing you're doing is blinding children, you're doing a good job.
True. Good point.
Instead of strangling them.
True. Also true.
Yes, because you guys don't know he is an educator.
I
You
am
know,
school teacher in
of
COVID. Yeah.
tiny small people, and thus he has way more patience for anything than I do.
Tomorrow will be the test of it. I got kindergarten tomorrow. It's gonna be tough, man. Whew. Yeah.
Please don't kill them.
I
And
won't.
he's currently rocking Grinch pajamas for the people who can't see these brilliant and unbelievably sexy pajamas he's wearing. It's almost like
it's
a neck.
top and bottom, by the way. It's all of it, all the way down, man.
Oh, it's a onesie. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a onesie.
Two piece, but it looks like a onesie. It looks like a onesie.
Ladies, you're missing out. He's a married man anyway.
I know. Yeah. Yep, sorry. It's all. Yeah. The Grinch gets it upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See that? His heart is already 2 sizes too small, but it is filled with love for all of you stupid bastards listening to us. I love you all. Don, where can they find you if they want to reach out and tell you how amazing the dulcet tones sounded today?
Oh, you bet. No, my initial website is everymoviehasaleSson.com. I'm the lead film critic over at 25YL, where I get my work published, and I'm able to kind of fly a larger flag than being a DIY blogger. That's kind of thrust me into Critics Choice Association, Hollywood Critics Association, all these little places where it's been cool to have the press credential flag. Find me on Letterboxd and Twitter at Casablanca Don. Hint to what my all-time favorite movie is right there. Facebook, you can look up Every Movie Has a Lesson or anything of that sort. But yeah, Twitter, Letterboxd, Facebook. You use the term Every Movie Has a Lesson, you'll find me.
Listen, we want to thank Don because
one more drop. I am the co-host of the Cinephile Hissy Fit podcast, where we got to get you two to come on, since hey, that's what podcasters do. You come on ours, you come on you come on theirs. So yeah, we got to get you two in to join Will Johnson and I, connected to 25YL, arguing about a movie that we either love or hate. And I feel like with the crowd here, we'll get some lovers and some haters to do it with the two of us. So set your calendars in the spring. We'll get you guys on.
I accept already. That is an open acceptance of that invitation. I want to say thank you, Don, for coming by, because of all the gin joints in all the world, you walked into mine. So thank you for coming so much.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the invitation. Real cool to discover more of your work and follow what you guys do. I envy your film festival stamina. You guys are, man, tip of the spear, getting out there and seeing all the good things.
Listen, we just do what we do. We're going to be at South by Southwest this year. Both myself and Shay are going to be there. Shay, how excited are you for that?
I'm testing again. Hey, guys.
Yeah. And Shay, where can they find you if they want to reach out and talk about your manic energy, my girl?
Oh, yeah. So, hi, guys. You can find my reviews, as always, at filmsnobreviews.com. I got some new ones up. Finally, after all this time, I know I've had a lot of breaks, but that is for good reason, because I'm a working comic book artist now. And you can find all my work on Instagram at limina_1999. And take it from there. Please follow me. I need the attention. Thank you.
Yes, she does. She's manifesting more attention because she needs it. I want to say she also has a Facebook, but don't follow her there.
No, don't follow me on Facebook.
You will see things you don't. You'll see things you don't want to see, like her face.
No, I literally don't even post to there anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't. It's fine. And of course, your handsome and lovely hero of the day, William, right here. You can follow me everywhere at Film Snob Reviews. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, because sometimes I like to play video games. Everywhere. And also on Twitter at Will Eguizabal. That's Will with the 2 L's. Eguizabal, Eguizabal. That's my last name, and good luck spelling it. You guys can follow me on there, and make sure that you fucking do, because I love talking shit to everyone. It is my favorite thing in the world. Shay, am I wrong?
No cap.
No caps at all. Just like the cap I just took off, the signature cap, which I have here with me.
How could you?
How could I? What an asshole. You guys should definitely follow all of us, and make sure you follow Don, because he's the guy's way smarter than me. I mean, he's a school teacher.
Debatable. Super debatable.
It really is not. I am just a fucking maniac on the internet. Trust me. But I have opinions, and like everyone else, and I am very good at stating those opinions. Yes, Shay said thanks, Don.
You're very welcome. No, thanks for having me, both of you.
And make sure you.
Don just followed me on Instagram.
Yes.
I did. I got to
Yes.
see more of your, working face. So between the two.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'll-
usually dressed this formally.
I was gonna look here and wait for the swimsuit calendar edition of whatever's coming here. So I'm ready. Let's do it.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's coming.
The internet is not ready for that. They are just not.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's
The
coming
internet
anyway.
doesn't get-
You don't get to tell her what to do, guys. That's just how it is. Guys, thank you so much for another amazing episode of the Snobcast. We'll see you on episode 10. Our guest is going to be Deanne from the Jello Club podcast. You can kind of guess what we're going to be talking about. Woo, baby, I can't wait for that one. Thank you guys so much.